Hello everyone and welcome back to a brand new video on my channel. In today's video we are going to be going through the entire Chelsea squad, also potential incomings, also potential outgoings, and essentially discussing everyone surrounded with Chelsea Football Club, going through position by position as to what our team could look like next season, what I would do with the squad next season, and also giving, a good view on what I think will be happening next season with each and every player. And this is going to give you guys a nice filler video for now, really, to start thinking about what the team could be looking like next season, because we definitely want to make improvements to our squad to go to the next level. We had that transfer ban, and now we're thinking, where can we improve our side? Who do we bring in? Who do we take out to take us to the next level? Because there have been too many games this season where we've dropped silly points, so we need players next season who are going to consistently perform for us. And unfortunately, with the way the market is right now, it's very deflated. The prices are really low, and Chelsea won't have as much money as we would have had in a normal summer, which is a real shame, because I thought we were going for a complete revamp this summer in order to give us the best possible chance to challenge for trophies in the next season. But with all that's going on in the world right now, we are in a little bit more of a sticky situation, but there are certainly other ways around this, and I'm going to be going through in today's video with everything in mind, guys. I've planned out this video talking about everyone regarding the club, and let's get into this. So of course we're going to start here with the goalkeeper position, and it's actually an interesting one right off the bat. We start with Kepa. It's an interesting one because Kepa, do we keep him or do we sell him? I think that's certainly a question that will indeed divide the fan base right now. Kepa, he had such a good first season with us, and I still believe he's one of the best young goalkeepers in the world, and we paid a lot of money for him. I'm not sure I'm prepared to let him go for half of that. I just don't think it's the right thing to do, and I still think that there's a good goalkeeper in there, and he's a leader too from the back when he really wants to be. He is a confident guy, and he's just been a little poor this season, I feel, and it's been frustrating to watch him sometimes. His wrists and his hands have been massively weak this season. It sounds a weird thing to say, but if you watch a lot of the goals we conceded, the amount of times he just palms it or parries into the corner or straight back out to another player is really frustrating. And there's no hiding it. He's made bad mistakes this season, but of course it's not an ideal market. We won't have massive funds to just pick in another goalkeeper for 40 million now, and I think it's definitely not one of the positions that I would, revamp completely. I think Kepa, it's worth keeping him, at least, playing him and maybe taking him out for a few games. As Lampard has done this season very well, I would keep Kepa next season. I think it's a sensible thing to do. And that leads us quite nicely on to potential incomings, and I think there was a lot of rumours going around of Chelsea maybe bringing in a player like Onana, who we could bring in for around 35-40 million pounds, I think. And that would be good for Kepa, I think. That would give him nice competition. We've seen how well that works for him with Willy Caballero when he came in for some games, did a good job. That got Kepa on his feet, and he's been performing really well in the recent games before, of course, football got cut off completely. So I think for Kepa it works quite well when he has competition in goal, and bringing someone like Onana could have been really, really good. But again, we're not in an ideal situation right now, so I think for next season it's probably just best that we keep Kepa. We don't sign a goalkeeper. There's been names like Pope, Donnarumma, Musso, they've all been going around, but I think it's probably best we just keep Kepa, we keep Caballero as the number 2. I think we'll just sign him another 1-year extension to his contract. He's a good piece of experience in the dressing room, guys, and of course, he's not a bad goalkeeper. He's been pretty good in some of the games he's come into actually this season. I'm sure we can all agree. And then of course we've got Jamie Cumming, who we always really now, these days with Lampard, need to look to the youth. Are they ready? Are they good enough? I think Cumming is nearly there, so I think 1 or 2 more seasons of him on the fringes, and maybe he can go on to be our number 2, and if he performs, maybe even our number 1. That's the goal with some of these youth players. If they're good enough, they'll get the chance. But I think as of now, it's best we stay with Kepa. He's still a young goalkeeper on his own, and Caballero as that experienced backup I think works quite nicely, and I'm hoping both of those players can improve for next season. The right back area for me is really, really simple, and probably the one I need to talk least about in this entire video. For me, the 2 right backs should be Reece James and Azpilicueta. We've all been so impressed with Reece James' progression this season. I think he's just been so good for us, and it's exciting watching him play. He's such a threat down the right-hand side, an absolute monster at the back, and definitely one of the most well-rounded fullbacks in world football. I'm really excited to seeing how he progresses in the near future. And then we've got Azpilicueta, our club captain. What a season he's had, can I just say. Every year, Mr. Consistent, Mr. Reliable Azpilicueta, but again, he doesn't disappoint when we need it most, and he's been epic again for us this season, guys. In what's been a shaky Chelsea back line, he really has shone out there again for me, and he's a massive player for us, Azpilicueta. So I think having Azpilicueta and Reece James, it covers the right back area, and also left back to an extent with Azpilicueta, and we know how versatile and such a great leader he can be. I think those two, there's no reason for anyone to come in the right back area. We certainly shouldn't be looking there. Onto the centre-back area now, and this is maybe where we can start thinking, do we look to the market? Because we've got 4 centre-backs right now, guys. We've got Christensen, we've got Rudiger, we've got Kurt Zouma, and we've got Fikayo Tomori. Now, the thing with those 4 centre-backs is they're all good players, but there will be some games where they're alright, and then others where they're really poor, and then others where they're really good, and they'll have 2 games good and 4 games bad. And it's just like, we need consistency at the back. And there have been some horrendous errors at centre-back this season, guys. Maybe performance-wise, our weakest position this year, that and left-back, I would say. Some of the stuff we've been seeing in and around our defence and box this year has been unacceptable. You know, the likes of John Terry and Gary Cahill, and, you know, the Carvalhos, the Desais, the Chelsea legends at centre-back who have been, you know, so determined and so, you know, passionate in there. We've been rocks back there for many years, especially when I was growing up watching Chelsea, guys. But just these days, I don't feel we have leaders in there, and I don't feel we have players who are ready to, you know, grind out a 1-0 win, to grind out and not concede when we're under pressure. For me, this season, when we're under pressure, we concede, and that's that. And you can't become a top team like that. You need to ride out your spells. And this season, when we've been watching, when I've been doing my live watch-alongs, we're like, oh, here they come, that's going to be a goal most likely. It's almost like when they whip it in the box, it's a goal, and we need to change that. So that's what I would be thinking. Can we bring in a blockbuster centre-back, you know, a Koulibaly sort of name? But unfortunately, you know, we're going to have limited funds this summer. That doesn't look possible. And at the same time, guys, we already have those 4 centre-backs, and I can't see any of them leaving. So what happens then? You know, if none of them leave, does anyone come in? Because we've still got the likes of Ampadu, Trevor Chalobah, Mark Wahe, all out on loan, and they'll be coming back next season. What do we do with Ampadu, for example, guys? Does he come in? So I see some issues here. Do we sell any of those centre-backs? I can't see it happening as of now, which would surely mean that none get brought in. You know, unless we've brought in someone like Gabriel, who's definitely been spoken about a lot, you know, the young Brazilian centre-back from Lille. He's been spoken about. Now he seems closer to like Everton or Napoli, and the club he goes to changes every week, really, so we don't know what's going to be happening with him. But again, he could be another centre-back, you know, like Zouma, like Tomori, a bit like Christensen and Rudiger in some ways, who, you know, he's still relatively young, he still has ways to improve, and he's not that consistent. I think we kind of could do with a leader in there. I don't know about you guys, but like I said, you know, I've been a little bit disappointed with how he performed at the back this season. But I can see us going in with the same 4 centre-backs unless we bring someone into that area. I think there'll be a few new names coming up. I certainly wouldn't be opposed to a signing, but I just think in this market we're not going to be able to bring in the sort of profile of player that we do indeed want at the back to lead us forward for next season. So we'll have to wait and see about that one. I like our 4 centre-backs personally, guys, but I just don't know if we have the right partnership in there to lead us forward and really, you know, have that grit and determination at the back to get us through important moments. And now on to left back, guys. Probably the position that for me needs a massive rethink in the summer. Our 2 current left backs are Marcos Alonso and Emerson Palmieri, and I just don't think it's good enough. I really don't. I think everyone can agree. They've been on and off this season in all sorts of spells. Marcos Alonso is such a dangerous goal scorer, and when we play that 3 at the back system, there's literally no one better. He's so good at left wing back, it's ridiculous. But when he plays at left back, it's like a different player. So, I mean, I don't know how much of a threat he is going forward. I'll never take that away from him. I'll never take away about how useful he is and how many brilliant goals he's scored from us. He's been honestly been a great servant. And Emerson, I think we all thought could be the left back that we needed to take us forward, but that hasn't really worked out either. So I had an initial plan with what I wanted to do at left back, and that's sell Alonso and sell Emerson to the Serie A. You know, I think there's a lot of clubs in the Serie A who are looking at them, you know, Napoli, Juventus, Inter, those sorts of clubs. Maybe even AC Milan. We'll have to wait and see. They seem like they've got quite a lot of funds saved up this summer, so maybe they could take a few away. And then what I would have loved to do is bring in Alex Telles for, you know, like 35, 40 million, and then also promote Ian Martson from the youth team. I think it's important, like we mentioned with Cumming, when there's a player who's ready, put them in their side and get them playing football. And I think Ian Martson could be a brilliant substitute left back for us next season. But now, guys, it doesn't look like we're going to be able to sell Emerson and Alonso. We're asking high prices for them, and in the current deflated market, I can't see sides paying, you know, 35, 40 million for players like Emerson or Alonso. We'll have to wait and see. I think if we just cut our losses, get rid of each of them for about 25 each, we get 50 million from that, then we go out and get Telles. That for me would be absolutely ideal. I don't know about you guys, but I think Alex Telles is the one we just have to look at. But unfortunately, his name has kind of floated away right now. He's looking more like he's going to sign for PSG with the likes of Kozawa or better than that, you know, going out to other clubs as well. So that's a massive kick in the teeth for me. It's frustrating me because I thought we were on course to bring Alex Telles to Stamford Bridge, and right now he seems a little bit further away, and we're looking at players like Gersons from Atalanta and also Ben Chilwell, who's massively expensive right now, and surely we won't be able to get him in its deflated market. But yeah, guys, let me know what you think on the left back position. I think Telles was the ideal man, and I'm still hoping Chelsea working behind the scenes on that. Of course, with transfer rumours, don't always read everything, because Chelsea keep the transfers very, very close to heart, and nothing is really leaked until the final day. As we saw with the Ziyech signing, the Pulisic signing, you don't know anything, and then all of a sudden a big outlet releases it, and within the day he's signed officially for the club. So don't think Telles is done just yet, guys. But I am a little bit disappointed, because I think we did need a massive revamp at left back in the summer, and I'm just not quite sure we're going to be able to get that now. Into central midfield now, we've got a lot of midfielders, CDM, centre mids, central attacking midfielders. We've got a lot of them, guys, and we've got a lot of talent, and it excites me looking at them. I just don't think this is yet another position. I just think this is yet another position that we don't need to spend money on at all, guys. We've got so much talent here. And let's go through. We've got Jorginho, we've got Kante, and we've got Kovačić. I think everyone can agree Kovačić has been our player of the year this season, and he's going to be staying here next season, of course. Kante, no one wants to sell him. He'll also be here next season. And then Jorginho, who keeps on receiving stick that I just don't get. I thought we were past that with him. He's our vice-captain now. He's such a great leader. He changes the team whenever he's on the pitch. But no, people still keep on slating him, asking him to go back to the Serie A, etc, etc, etc. Personally, I don't understand it, and I know that's going to, upset a few Chelsea fans, because I always see a lot of slander towards Jorginho, but I think he's a vital cog in our team. Whenever we play, he makes us into that elite level. He gives us the control. We're not chasing shadows anymore. Jorginho's the one running the game, but, I don't know, that's just me. I think that takes us into more of an elite team when he's in the side. Anyway, I think I would just keep those three. Those three have to stay, and I'm praying, and I think Lampard agrees, those three are vital for our team, so they will stay. And then we've also got Mason Mount, who, of course, we love Mason Mount. I do anyway. He's a great young player, possibly the young player of the season. Never misses a game. He's always giving 110%. And, I myself have been frustrated with him this season, and just thinking he hasn't had enough quality at times. Just because he hasn't, that's because he's a young player, guys, and that's going to happen. There's going to be games where it's frustrating, where we're just looking at him and thinking, you're not going anywhere there, mate. But he's shown so many good, bright signs, and I would never disrespect him, or, I think people have been getting way too mental against him on Twitter, etc. For me, he's been great, and I'm excited to see how he does next season. And then we've got Loftus-Cheek coming back, guys. We haven't even been able to see Loftus-Cheek this season. That's how deprived we've been as Chelsea fans. What an absolute joy to watch he was, especially in that Europa League campaign. And also, that guy guided us to top 4. Let's not forget how many vital goals Loftus-Cheek got under the Don Mauricio Sarri. So I think Loftus-Cheek, when he comes back into the side, that immediately boosts us too. So we've got Kante, Jorginho, Kovačić, we've got Mason Mount, we've got Loftus-Cheek. Those are 5 really exciting midfielders, guys, and that's something to be, excited about next season. We have a really quality midfield there, and that can drive us on to win games, I'll say that for free. Then we've got Ross Barkley, guys, who comes out in little shines. He's been alright here and there. There have been some games where you're thinking, that's the Barkley we bought for 15 mil, and we thought, what a great addition. And then sometimes you're thinking, please get out of the club. So with Barkley, it's an interesting one. I just feel, with Billy Gilmour coming in, who of course we have to mention, Billy Gilmour is behind those 6 midfielders, unfortunately, so that leaves issues. I think it would maybe be ideal if we got about 20 million for Barkley if he went to West Ham or something, and then Billy Gilmour gets, pushed up a little bit in the pecking order. But of course we never know. We've had massive injuries this season. Is it worth just keeping a lot of midfielders? We can't forget Ampadu and Conor Gallagher. Conor Gallagher are also going to be coming back from loan, guys. So we've got so many midfielders, and for me, we've got about 8 or 9 players here already at the club with no money needed to be spent. There's literally no need to spend any money on midfielders this season, at least. I think we've got talent all over that pitch. We've got different profiles as well. We've got Ampadu, you've got Conor Gallagher, you've got Gilmour, you've got Kovačić, Kante, Jorginho, Loftus-Cheek, Mason Mount, Ross Barkley. There's so much talent, and there's all sorts of players in that as well. I think maybe loan out Gallagher again, keep Ampadu because he can play in various positions. He's always very useful. And of course, in our injury-hit team, he could be very, very useful, in all sorts of areas. So I think he'd be a valuable player to keep. And then you've got Ross Barkley, who, we may have to sell just so that we allow Billy Gilmour a little more time in the first team. But I wouldn't be opposed to keeping Ross just as an extra number in midfield. So for us Chelsea fans, I think just going through those names, there's a lot to be excited about in our midfield. It's a sort of midfield that can dominate football matches. When you talk about the names like Jorginho, Kante and Kovačić, that for me just spells control and domination. So I'm happy with our midfield right now. It looks very, very stacked, and it's really, really pleasing to look at. On to the wingers, another position that I think we have a really, really exciting future in. And right now, guys, it's looking good for Chelsea. In a lot of positions, we've got a lot of incredibly good young players. Lampard's come in and he's just thought, we've got so many good young players here, let's play them. And that's what's happening, guys, and the team is only going to get better. So let's get started on the wingers here. right now we've got 4 at the club. We've got Willian, Pulisic, Hudson-Odoi and Pedro. Those have been the 4 wingers for this season. But of course, Pedro, he looks set to leave at the end of the season. He's been a great servant for us, a top-class player. Very, very useful, very good hard worker as well. And we also, we'll be happy to see him leave because I think he's just getting a little bit old now, but he's been so quality for us this season. So we all, of course, at Chelsea wish Pedro the best. Then we have Willian, who looks set to leave, which a lot of Chelsea fans, are quite happy about. But I'm actually quite annoyed. I'm going to explain why. It's not because he's a top-class player. I don't think he's that good anymore like he used to be, the old Willian. But I don't think he's as bad as he gets slander for. I think he's been one of our most consistent players this season. Yes, he hasn't had his best year, but he's a really hard worker. He gets goals, he gets assists, he produces, he doesn't get injured often. And I just don't see what's good about giving him to Arsenal or Tottenham for a couple of years. I don't see how anyone can really be happy about that. He definitely improves their teams in one way or another. It's another really useful winger option for them. It's also a winner, a guy with a winning mentality, which they definitely struggle with right now, as we know there. So I think Willian is just someone who I would definitely keep, and I just don't think that right now is maybe the best time to get rid of him. I would keep him, but that's only because I don't want him to go to Arsenal or Tottenham. I think in an ideal summer, guys, I would let him go. We've got a lot of money to bring in other players, but right now we're a little bit stuck for money and new signings. So unless we can get someone really good in, I don't know what to do with Willian. I'd definitely be a lot happier if he went to Italy or Spain as opposed to strengthening our London rivals. I don't know what you guys think about that. Like I said, I'm agreeing with you guys that I don't think he's this amazing player that a lot of people have made him out to be anymore. And I think, if we are looking to take the next step to, becoming an elite football club, he probably needs to move on now. But I don't see the plus side and any positives really in giving him to a London rival. I really don't. I think he strengthens them, and that hurts me a little bit. I don't like seeing Willian go to a club like Arsenal or Tottenham, and it looks like that's quite likely right now, which is a little bit annoying for me. Anyway, guys, let's move on. We've got Pulisic and Hudson-Odoi left then, because Willian and Pedro are set to be leaving for free in the summer. So that leaves 2 or 3 more slots, depending on how you look at it, because we've got other players who can play in various positions, of course, too. Let's start with one slot, and that's going to be Hakim Ziyech, the new signing, of course. We've already got that one wrapped up. He's going to be joining Chelsea in the summer, and that's super exciting, guys. That really, really is. Hakim Ziyech, what a top-class player. He can play in multiple areas across the front 3, of course, and he's really what we needed, that left-footed attacker, the quality off of that side, the balls into the box, the long shots. He's so good at attacking low blocks as well, sorry, guys. And his long shots are incredible. So Ziyech is just one of those top-class players, and I always thought he was going to join someone like Bayern Munich or something one day. But Chelsea managed to just snatch him up, and that's really, really pleasing for me. That's another signing that massively excites me for next season. I'm super excited to see Hakim Ziyech get started, guys. He's been absolutely brilliant for us, and that's a really great addition. Or I say he's been brilliant for us, he's been brilliant for Ajax, sorry, and that's a really great addition. So I'm super excited to see Ziyech at Stamford Bridge next season. And then it's probably time to look to the market. There's always, of course, the obvious name of Jadon Sancho, and for me, he would be a player who could take us to that next level that we're speaking about. He's got goals, he's got assists, he's a top quality player, guys. But are we going to be able to afford him? In this market, people are saying if you're paying that much for Sancho, you're going to have a lot of egg left on your face, because these big transfers are going to be, very, very rare these days, and buying Sancho could really hurt a lot of clubs financially, and right now United look a little bit more ahead in the race for us. So that leads me on to another player who I think could be a brilliant cheap alternative, and a player who really excites me, and that's Jeremy Boga. We've got a cheap buyback clause on him. He's been excellent in the Serie A. He's a great dribbler, he's a scorer, he's an absolute monster in attack, guys, and Jeremy Boga, for me, if we can't get Jadon Sancho, would be a great addition. I wouldn't say, I'm opposed to getting Sancho. I wouldn't say, yeah, he's United's now, I don't care if we're not getting him, because I still kind of do. I still feel that if we want to become an elite club, if we want to be the Chelsea challenging for all sorts of titles, again, the Champions League, the Premier League, then we need a player like Sancho in our team. But in this current market, if Sancho is going to stay at Dortmund for another season, I think a really good cheap option to save some money and also improve the winger areas is Jeremy Boga. I think that's a great addition, guys. I don't know what you guys think. There haven't been many other names, Kai Havertz has been mentioned, but for me, we've got Loftus-Cheek and Mason Mount in that area, so I just think Jeremy Boga would be such a good addition on the wing, guys. That means we could have Hudson-Odoi, Pulisic, Ziyech and Boga on the wings, all for a good cheap price, guys. For me, that would be lovely for next season, and if not, of course, Jadon Sancho, if we do manage to pull that transfer through, that would be absolutely gargantuan. So then, guys, let's move on to the striker area, a really important area of our team, of course, and an area that we want goals from. So let's get started, guys. Tammy Abraham, let's just start with him. He's going to be here next season. That's really, really exciting. Olivier Giroud also looks set to stay. People say he could be leaving. I think we've activated another contract extension for him, so he'll be here until the end of 2021, which is really, really good, of course. And I just always think, guys, trust me, having Olivier Giroud in your team is always a positive and always a plus side. Don't ever forget that. So that leaves us, with another free spot, I'd say, because I think we're going to be trying to offload Michy Batshuayi, I'd say for around 20-30 million in this sort of market. I think in the olden days, or I say the olden days, a couple of months back, we probably could have got about 40 million for him, knowing the way Mourinho works with transfers. But I think right now, Batshuayi is going to be on the way out, and that, I think, leaves us room for one or two more attackers, if you count, a couple as potential winger options as well, which is quite interesting. A few can bode into the others. That gives us option all over the pitch, and we just want, the versatile players in our side. So let's get started with some options, guys. The more, pure number 9 strikers are Timo Werner, Moussa Dembele, and of course Victor Osimhen. So I think we've got quite a few options there. All three of them I'd love at the club. I think they're all great strikers in their own way. So I think, you can't be too unhappy with any of those. Those are all players that excite me, that I think, yep, they could improve our attack massively, and also give Abraham a bit of competition, a player to play off sometimes, and of course Olivier Giroud in there too. We can't forget about the big man. And then, of course, there are also some other options, and some other really interesting ones too. Some older players, but some players we could get for a lot cheaper. Let's start with Dries Mertens, who right now Lampard is desperately trying to bring to Stamford Bridge, and for me, is such a great player. Dries Mertens for me is just, he's versatile. He doesn't seem to be getting any worse with his age. He's a top finisher. He's got so much quality all over the park. And for me, he's a player that, it excites me when I watch him play. And I think having him at Chelsea for free will be one heck of a signing. We tried signing him for about 10 million in January, but he wanted to actually stay and become the top scorer of Napoli. I'm not sure if he's done that yet. I'm not quite sure, of all time he's trying to overtake, I think it's Marek Hamšík in the list. He's nearly there, I think 1 or 2 goals off. If football resumes, he'll be able to deal with that and then come to us in the summer. So that would be a positive of football resuming. Then we also have someone like Aubameyang in there, guys. That's been spoken about, if we could take Aubameyang off of Arsenal, that would be a historic steal from us, I think, for under £50 million. That would be excellent. He's a proven Premier League player and someone who you just can't turn down. But for me, I'm really interested with the likes of Mertens and Osimhen. I think those are two players that can really help our attack. I think buying the likes of Mertens and also Jeremy Boga, those are the sort of deals that in this current market you have to be looking at. And I think Chelsea will be really smart to go and do that right now. It would improve our attack, and it would make us, have that freshness about us, that versatility, and that's something that I think would be absolutely brilliant. So to conclude, guys, I think there's a lot of work to be done in the next window. I really do. A lot of players coming out, a lot of players coming in, quite a big change in the squad, and that's just because we had that transfer window. Of course, the team isn't really where it's at, where it needs to be, I think, in order to compete. But the positive thing is, guys, we have so much talent still at home. I haven't even been able to speak of the likes of Angerin, the likes of Armen Broja up front. What I would say is that there's loads to be positive about, guys, right now as a Chelsea fan. We've got a really good future ahead of us, a great coach, a great coaching staff, a board who seem very, very clear in their ideas, and I back them, really. And they've also, of course, got all these amazing young players, and I just think this team needs a couple of big signings here and there, maybe a massive centre-back, Alex Telles at left-back, another couple of wingers in there, maybe a striker. We've got an amazing midfield right now, guys. We do need players, though. We can't go another window without signing players. It's been too long, really. And bring in players like Ziyech. If we brought in, a Jeremy Boga, a Jadon Sancho, Osimhen, Mertens, Alex Telles, these are the sorts of players that, for me, we need to be looking at. They're great deals, a lot of them. The likes of Telles is under 40 million. He's going to be our left-back for the next, 6 years or so. So I just think that we need to be doing these lovely cheap deals, and I back the board to go and do it, guys. It wouldn't be that expensive if we just did a market, getting Mertens for free, Boga for 15 million, then Alex Telles for 35 million, and then even Gabriel at centre back for 30 million. That's not expensive at all, guys. We can make a good window out of what could have been a poor situation. We still have a decent amount of money, not as much as we would have. Maybe we have to settle for other players like Gabriel instead of Koulibaly, like Mertens instead of maybe an Osimhen, like a Boga instead of a Sancho. These are the sorts of things, guys, that unfortunately we are going to have to deal with right now. But unfortunately, that's just the way it is. We've got to get past that. And I still think we can make our team super competitive next season. And it is an exciting time to be a Chelsea fan. There's a lot of good things going on right now. And yeah, I think I've been over all the players potentially in the first team next season, what I would do with it, what the current situation is, who's going to be going out, who could be coming in, what are we going to do with the young players, etc, etc, etc. I hope you guys have enjoyed, I really do. Please do drop a like if you have, subscribe for more videos like this on the channel, of course. Leave all of your thoughts in the comment section down below on any player, what you guys think of this situation or that situation, whatever you want to say, leave it in the comment section down below and I'll reply to every single comment. So yeah, make sure you interact down there. Share the video, like the video, do whatever you want, guys, and I'll see you guys very, very soon. Goodbye.